Okay, so welcome back. It's still Family and Values. And if you are just tuning in, this morning we'll be discussing a topic very, very loaded. Moral decadence and child development in our society. Moral decadence and child development in our society. That's why Family and Value is here. You see that elongated mini feature? It's just to let you know how serious, how tropical that this topic is. It's a topic that we should come to talk about, advocate, and campaign. Do everything possible to bring morals back to our society and grow our children well. So this morning to discuss this topic, we have Dr. Kayode George. He's a former HOD of criminologist and security, peace, and conflict studies from Caleb University. It's an honor to have him this morning, and anytime we have him, he will always want to give us all the details you want to know about safety and those things that has to do with it. It's so good to have you this morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Thank you for honoring our invitation once again.
Thank you, presenter. It's a pleasure to be here today, presenter.
You know, when you see security people, say they will call you the way you are. Yes. Are we not? Are we not? So this morning, sir, moral decadence. What is moral decadence? And what are the major causes that we look back and say, this was how it started?
So we can code mix. You can mix Yoruba with English. That's
we are talking about our values. Because our value, our culture. Yes. We can't forget home.
Yeah, that's okay. I want to start. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Lagosians. I want to start with the concept of moral. What is moral? Moral is what we think is good or what we know to be good and bad. It informs our behavior. So if somebody does not have morals, it means doesn't know how to do, he or she doesn't know how to do good things. Good. But what informs moral? Number one, moral is informed by our natural ability to know what is good and what is bad. That's the way God made us. We are morally put together. The Bible says I am wonderfully and carefully made. Part of that makeup of human beings is to know what is good and what is bad. And that's why Adam and Eve went to hide when they ate the fruit. That is why Cain buried his brother to cover his sins. So we all have in us, it's in our DNA to know what is good and what is right. So that's why when we do something good, we want to hide it. And when we do something nice, we want to show it. Then the society that we live in, we belong to, imposes some things on us as morally acceptable way of life. In Yoruba land, you have to greet your parents in a particular way. When you say omodada, omoluabi, omotafiwabi.
That's on English, no?
Omoluabi is someone that behaves well. Iwa is character.
Yeah.
Character is part of what we are talking about, morals. Yeah. So character also informs moral. So if somebody behaves well, they say he's morally upright. And so if doesn't believe he doesn't have moral, he lacks moral. Like too much, like all those things when we were young. When we were younger, parents will use eyes to communicate to us. And we get it and we quickly change our position and all that. So that's moral. And if every society has moral.
So what are the causes?
Okay, I'm talking about.
Let's go to the causes.
The decadence means destruction.
Okay.
Reduction. Erosion. So we can't shy away from the fact that morals in this day and age has been eroded, has been destroyed, it has collapsed. There is nothing like everything good now. There is no thing that is bad any longer. Even when we know it is bad, you see people still support it.
The boundaries.
People support it, they applaud it. But
they celebrate
the big excuse is it's my life. It's my life. I can do what I want. So one of the causes of moral decadence is social interaction. When a community is homogeneous in the sense that you are all just the same language, the same way of life, the same religion, you are likely to prevent and preserve your morals, etiquettes. But when we begin to have incursion of people from other cultures, you travel out, you come back, you see the way things are done, you bring them in, and people will praise you for bringing something into the society. So these are the way we gradually lose our morals to whatever.
Okay, so now I love the fact that you talked about parenting in those days, how parents will tomorrow. We still appreciate that fact that we have parents that will communicate with us in that manner. Even our guests yesterday did mention that. Now, what is the role of parents in shaping the morals of children? Because these days, you see, it's like the parents we are having now. It's like the parents, maybe they were not parented the way we were, maybe a different version of parented, but the kind of parents we are having. So what's the role of parents?
These parents that we talk, we are parents.
Yeah.
Yes, as all of us, we grew up with those parents who were harsh, who were hard on us. But like I said, exposure, education, religion, forces some things on us that make us to say, oh, this part of our culture is bad. This thing we call morally upright doesn't have to be upright. It can change. In Japan, they do it, it doesn't matter. In America, they do it, doesn't matter. So we can also do it. So why not? So gradually we begin to adopt and embrace foreign values as against and to the detriment of our own values. And we're looking.
But where did we get it wrong?
I really don't know. But like I said, education is part of it. I remember when I was in my PhD days in UA, a professor traveled for 6 months. And he came back with braids, came back sagging. But this was a respected man. And just 6 months in the US, he saw men doing all those things. He's a father. And he came back with braids, with sagging. He was just like, prof. So when nobody talked about it, they just left him. On his own, he changed. He just changed to the normal dressing that we know in an academic environment.
It's our own environment.
And so when people bring foreign things that are alien to us, you don't have to embrace it. But we embrace it. And so we gradually help to destroy and collapse our own values. We don't have values again in Nigeria.
So what role does religion institution play in all this morals
in all sincerity, religion has not really helped us. Honestly, in all sincerity.
How?
Can
you be detailed?
Now, religion is supposed to preserve culture. Religion itself is culture.
Yes.
It's culture of a people that we brought in here. And so by the time we are embracing those religions, we didn't know exactly how to mix it with our own. We totally accepted all the values they gave us and put aside our own values.
Without separating
exactly.
As a people, as a community.
We just embraced everything they downloaded our hearts and we abandoned our own. Now, greeting most homes is non-existent in the morning. It's non-existent.
Just pass,
hello, mommy. Hello, daddy. Hi.
If you do this in those days to greet an elderly man, say, I will break your head. You are greeting me as if you are planting corn.
You have
to go down. And the few times I've traveled out, they value those things. When they see us doing our culture, it's amazing. They say, oh, I love it.
They feel amazing.
But we don't know they love it. And we think they don't love it. We only embrace their own. They have their own way of respecting their elderly people. For instance, in the bus, there's a space for elderly people.
Hey, that one.
There's a space for sick people. At the airport, if you are sick, if you are this, just go straight. We don't have those things. We don't embrace those things there.
Even when we have it here, they don't do it. Because I want to cite an example. When we're young, you enter LSTC buses.
LSDPC.
All those red buses.
Yes.
Long one. You see an elderly person. You will stand up, even if your parent has given you a particular amount of money to pay, out of respect. But we don't have that. They even struggle with this with you. They struggle with a pregnant woman self. And elderly, you see a child
of 15. In America, they give them their space. But here, we just embrace all they have. Is your life. I can call you anything. And they have their own way of respecting and protecting their own values.
I entered Keke and the girl there didn't actually greet, and when they walked in, I just sat and I just looked at them. I said, "What happened to good morning?" You know, for some of us. I said, "What happened to good morning?" Said, "Oh, morning." I said, "No, that's not great."
Okay, when you say morning, even to your fellow colleague, it's not it's not complete. I know it's morning. What is the morning all about? Is it good? Is it beautiful? Is it exciting? Is it splendid? Let's go for our word of mouth. I'll be right back with Joy's question. Stay tuned. And you heard from our word of mouth. Moral decadence is very important and it goes a long way. It's time for us to continue our discussion, moral decadence and child development in our society. Joy, over to you.
Well, I'll try not to shake tables with this question I want to ask, because as far as I'm concerned, it's the reason why we are having what we are having. What is the role of poverty in moral decadence?
Well,
what role has poverty played?
I don't really believe that poverty has a very big role to play in moral decadence.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
let me explain.
Okay.
Now,
in
those days, I remember when I came to Lagos after 2 years, one of my uncles called me and said, bro, do something. I say, there's the money in Lagos. Bring a car home now. And I say, uncle, so if I bring car home, you not ask me,
where did I get the money?
Get the money. I said, no. I moved away. I said, no. In those days, in fact, when I was in school, when we were in year 2, we got bursary. We were to buy a car, me and my friends. We to contribute our money to buy a car. Fear of, if I took the car home, where would I tell my father I got the money? They didn't allow me. You didn't even the same thing with this guy. You know, say, okay, we buy it. I in Ibadan. I was in Ibadan. He's in Lagos. Okay, don't worry. You use it 1 week in Ibadan. Where we go to park it? We park in our friend's house. So we were still afraid to show wealth, to show it's our money.
But these days, children of today, generation of now are not afraid. So poverty. They'll tell you some people rub with pen. Why can't I rub with pens? And we have seen a woman, an elderly woman, not elderly, let's say she's in her 50s or 60s, carrying a newborn baby and praying for that baby. It's like a curse anyway. For that baby that you too, they use money to rob. You also use pen to join them around.
What do we call poverty? If you are skillful, and if all of us have some skills that we can use to eat. So if you have a source of income that provides the basic things of life, shelter, housing, and food. But just because we rely so much on government work, blah, blah, blah. I agree that poverty has some role to play. But again, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be poor if you can work. You don't have to be in Lagos if you can't make it in Lagos.
But
you can go back
that
to where
make
your
it,
money is.
That make it, I understand what you mean. That make it for some people means that you need to be loud. You're making it need to be loud.
Yeah, that is
Meanwhile, the making it of those days.
It's just caution.
You put tolerance, you put respect, you put obedience, you put integrity. But now that make it, you must be loud though.
You see,
you know, you must show that you have all the affluence. You want to meet up with what big societal personality has done.
Let me rephrase it and put it this
way. Please do.
Now, you see, when I talked about the role of parents, whether we like it or not, has contributed to why a lot of youths are in the street because they left their responsibilities as parents.
Chasing money.
When a 16-year-old child is the one taking responsibility for the family, paying the rent, taking care of the mother, taking care of the father, when a guy goes to do Yahoo is coming back with money and buying a house for parents, when parents have taken steps backward and
they never ask questions.
These things will keep happening. What is the name? He's taking us out of poverty. How will you tell your child to take us out of poverty?
You understand?
That is what I'm saying. You know, in those days we were basically farmers and fishermen. So that having too much money was not there. If you still go to
They
your
are content, contentment.
they're just contented with what they have. They just build a small house, and that's what they still do in America. They don't chase too much money. If you get a house, that's what I'm saying. Government provides the basic needs of life. Shelter is there. You can get a house at a very cheap rate. You can get a job.
Does that now mean that there's misconception from what they see on social media, what they go through, what their peer pressure, and every other thing?
Peer
What
pressure
has
is part
this
of
got
it.
to
Social media is part of
include?
it. We just see those things on TV and we think they are real. They are not real. Sometimes we see some things on film, in home video. They are not real. I just want to be like that.
And can I also ask that, has the government also contributed?
Oh yeah,
Largely.
largely.
Because we cannot
Largely.
In what way? In
Largely.
what
talk
way?
about providing shelter.
In what
There
way?
are no shelters.
I will give you an instance.
Let's hear
I
him.
went to
In what way?
Ikorodu housing, those flats in Ikorodu about 3 years back, and they said I have to pay. I think it was the least then. It was about 16 million naira for a flat, and they wanted me to pay cash. I said, how will I get cash as a civil servant?
Oh,
16 million.
That was the cheapest. The one in Lekki was 33 million. I can remember very well.
yeah.
So how will a man acquire?
So
save
much.
16
And pay
million?
that. And pay everything.
In the days of Dr. Jakonde, we had that the money from the salary.
Reduct it from time to time, not at
It was
once.
the one approving applications. You look at your level 4, one
Okay.
bedroom.
You
Level
know,
5,
you
one
allocate
bedroom.
it.
And you pay for 15, 20
You
years.
know,
So
they take
why are we
it.
going to talk about property?
It's a
If you have a
mortgage.
house to move your family in based on your income, and your children can lay their heads somewhere, and you are still working, and they also work, well, your own is working. So life gets better over time for everybody.
Okay, let's bring it down to what is going on in our society now. Because I want to ask, how can society restore lost values among children? Not only children, but we are concentrating on this generation now. How can? Because what you said is true. We look at all this, they go obodo oyinbo. You see all the good things, the amenities, the facilities, and you think they are living. You want to buy a house, you cannot pay in everything at once. It's an installmental payment,
For
it's a
30
mortgage.
years.
And even the car they ride, it's a mortgage.
your
You can even
mortgage.
swap it and they'll just have some amount,
Yes.
but you still pay it little by little.
Yeah.
Now, how can our society, our leaders, our people in government, because see, the root of evil, that's what money is, right? Even if the government themselves find it easy to buy or acquire a property, a huge, with huge sums of money and just pay back. Moral decadence start from that too. How can we really bring our society, our leaders into understanding this before we now go to the parents?
The government has to be very sincere with governance. There is no sincerity with governance. The basic role of government is to provide the basic things of life.
Yeah.
Shelter, food, and clothing. And that's why you have some shops abroad, say $1 shop, £1 shop. So if you can't afford to go to Marks and Spencer,
You have those
just go to $1 shop. You have your
Get
jeans
what
there.
you want
You have
to
your,
get.
and you move out and you just fine. We don't have such thing here. Everything is the same price at Ikeja. The same price for
everything.
everybody. We attend the same markets. So that is where poverty will come in.
So you mean there should be a departmental stores for those lesser. You mean we should have a departmental store for those who can easily afford it at little
We
as
can copy those things.
500
5
naira.
naira shop or
you
10
know?
10 naira shop. Just
There is Katangwa market.
go there now. It's
There
10,000.
is this.
But they need to.
Inside that Katangwa market, I'm coming inside that Katangwa market. There's clothes you still get for 200. Now, I think major problem is lack of contentment.
That is where religion comes in. And
That is
parenting.
where
parenting comes in.
And parenting comes in. When a parent is saying, my children, there was a video I saw, they were having a naming ceremony, and they were saying,
Now. now. That's what I was saying now. The woman said Byron was they use Byron to inflate and patch money. You also do the same. This Byron, you will use it. You will also inflate money. You will also rob. You do.
In a sane society, that woman should be arrested.
Oh no, I don't know why they did not arrest such a person.
Honestly, because they are surreptitiously and very strongly impacting the wrong values to the young ones. Surreptitiously and very powerfully. The usual one should be arrested.
I know a community, parents were buying laptops for their children and say, go and
learn Yahoo.
Go and learn Yahoo.
I'm a university teacher. I was teaching in a day and the lady was not listening. I called her after the class. I noticed you are not. I said, sir,
what happened?
What am I listening to? I'm busy doing business.
Some of them will even say school
my
is
account
a scam.
balance is about 8 naira. So I want to make it 10 million this week. I just say you can do. So you can do. So when a is chasing money rather than focusing on education.
On education.
So the parent has a role to tell the children from this age to this age, you should be learning a skill or acquiring certificates. There's a time for everything.
Everything.
You can't. I mean, in those days, we had people who had money to buy big cars. They won't buy big cars. They say defer the good days till when you are old.
When you are old.
So that is where parenting and the religion comes in. Defer the good things of life. Persevere now. Discipline yourself now. So that when you have the money, you can spend it discipline.
But can we still achieve this? How
it's a difficult task.
It's going to be too difficult.
It's a difficult task.
That brings me to the next question. What's the role of Western culture in African values and morals?
I have said it.
Because I know you've said it.
We copied them
whole.
Who like and sing.
It's like once they travel over there and they carry one winter and jacket and we have put one hoodie and do
and we also
I head
warmer and go on it.
I head warmer.
My status already. And then they start intimidating and everybody is feeling like, and then they come back and someone that is supposed to respect and that is feeling like he has traveled. You say, do you know where I've traveled and I've come from?
Do you know where I'm coming
what
from?
I've seen. So how has that Western
honestly
affected
it's a difficult one. They have their own values too, and they protect it.
Their values. True, very well.
I was in a program in Northern Ireland. We met with what we can call Bale. He's a young man. He came with a small car with police, nicely dressed with all the beads. He took photograph with us, and he warned us never on the internet.
Don't post
the photograph we took with him. Said, never on the internet. We'll get you. You can't come to UK again. I was in Spain. We did police training in Logroño, northern Spain. We wore uniform, we carried gun with no bullets, we did all sort of training and all that. But they warned us, the photographs never on social media. We'll ban you from coming to Spain.
Okay. And the way they said it, that's the way it is. Because you may think, why would they go and start searching for your picture? You will be amazed.
We drove car deeps inside water, inside hill. They trained us everywhere. They kidnapped us. They did everything. But they said 5 weeks we were there and it was free. Say, but any of the photographs you took here, never on the internet. In fact, the first day we got to that police barracks, we were there, they kept us in the room for like 30 minutes, discussing all from different countries, from Nigeria, from Egypt. Suddenly the man just bumped him. Bam! Say, yeah. All we were saying, they were recording it. And they were interpreting it immediately. Say, I'm Captain Joseph. Welcome to Spain. This is my role. I will be taking you through this training. You know, it took me time to respond to your mail. I checked you out on all the social media.
Oh, buddy.
Or I will check you out, your email, your Instagram, everything. I will discover that you are not a threat to our country. Otherwise, you won't be here. So, conversations.
Now, finally.
So, we're now asking, what about our password? Say, forget password. I tell my students, be careful with your social media. So, they have values. We don't have. I will never post those pictures on. I don't even know where they are. Because we have been warned.
Not to.
You will never come to Spain or US again if you see it.
And you see,
that's it.
Naked, standing on
I want us to round up on this. I remember you shared a picture of a young girl with a gun. A you just sent it to me and said this is part of the moral decadence and all that. And the story talked about how did she come about a gun? Because she said she wanted to use it to kill
a teacher.
Our teacher, a girl, about 16-year-old, who was dating a man. The married man gave her a pistol, locally made pistol. Just help us in 2 minutes as we round up. What and where did this go wrong, and what can parents do to help to save this? In 2 minutes, please.
It's a very difficult task, honestly, because we have intermingled several cultures, several people. So our culture is no longer as it was. We don't have a structure again. So except maybe if you go back to the primary school and adjust the curriculum to begin to address these issues there. You know, when we used to read those poems, it informed us to be hardworking, to be patient. That money will come, but the time comes.
Patience, time and season
will come, but
you know,
we don't have those things again. We told us to open the window in the morning so that sun can come in to dry to kill the germs. We don't have those things again. It's washing machine.
AC. Washing machine.
We need to correct our curriculum from the primary school and mean it intentionally. Pursue it. Do secondary and to tertiary. In Japan, they have a course in the university. They call it critical thinking. That anything you want to do, you have to think about it critically. The pros and cons is part of them. We don't have such here. So we need to go back to the school and the churches and correct our curriculum. Go back to those days and those things that can be school. They are learning. Even the JLOC in those days no longer there. Nursery and primary has taken over.
It's just stretch.
So let us begin to, and parents who we need to agree with the school that this is to go. Not that the school will teach this one.
They should not leave it to the nanny. Thank you so much for this.
Because when you look at, look at religious aspect, these people celebrate success more than they don't want to. They will give front seat. Our guest was saying it here. People would want to celebrate those that have this thing. So a lot is
God will help us. Okay, so we have to round up because our time is fast spent. I want to say a big thank you to our guests. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this. Like Joy said, there's going to be a part 2. So maybe we'll continue from where we stopped. Joy.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, all I'll say is we want to be a parent well. That's just it.
Yes, we'll parent well.
Be a parent and parent well. I'm just imagining what a 16-year-old is doing with a married man to talk of a gun. I mean, what's wrong? Where are the parents? That's the first question everybody will ask. So if you want to be a parent, please, parent well.